bloody lens there. And I brought this new rod just after Christmas. It's a what is it? It's a, I don't even know the bloody name of the make of it. Is it Rozemeijer or something like that? Yeah, Rozemeijer. Inner City Street Stick. It's 2.3 meters long, so it's about 7.5 feet, and it's 7 to 21 grams. It's in 2 sections. This is a street stick, 7 to 21 grams. So cost me about, I paid £40 for it. It retails it's about 60. It's in a sale, in a January sale. So I just decided to treat myself. We'll see how we get on with it. So this is a bit of a rod review. Ever so light. It was relatively cheap. It was about 60 quid, but I got it for £40, so I decided to buy it. I didn't really need a new rod, but I hadn't got one specifically designed for this style of fishing. I used a slightly heavier one which can handle. Yeah, so we're picking up a little bit of weed, but I mean, as for this is a 20 gram lure. That's casting pretty good, really. It's quite responsive. It's nice and light rod. I'm going to get caught in the bloody bushes or nothing. It's not very deep over there. I thought it'd be deeper than that. Braid, you see, and if you keep casting 8-pound braid, you'll find that after X amount of casts, the braid can wear through, and sometimes you have a fish on it snap off. So you always put a leader. Right. So we've got a little bit of sun. I don't know. I'm going to have to angle around a bit because I get the sun in the lens. Now this rod I'm finding is all right. It's all right. So we're just counting to hit the bottom, and I think that's hit the bottom there. So what you do, a food retrieves, and then just let it hit the bottom again. So weight is not too bad. It's not too bad for a bloody £60 is actually quite a lot of money. But I got it for 40, so that's what tempted me. But it's so light. It's really nice. It's, I tell you what, that's casting all right. I'm just gonna not let it. It might be quite loggy there, so I'm just gonna. So you can just watch it. You can retrieve it, and then watch the line, and then it sort of taps when it hits the bottom. There. Well, my first impressions of this rod for 40 quid, I would say okay. I think I'm going to try to treat myself to something a bit different, a proper bass one, I think. But as a spare, I mean, this is actually classed as a drop shot rod for perch. So this lure is actually 20 gram. This rod's rated to 21. Yeah, when you can see that line. I might get myself another one. Might get myself a better one. It's nice to have some different rods to sort of experiment with. So we got here, just went and hit the bottom. So what we're going to do, once we've been in this area, we're going to move further down. There's a boat over there. He shouldn't be over there. He's been there for a couple of weeks. He's living on it. Says you can only stay for 24 hours and then you've got to move. That's actually one of my dead baiting spots. That is over there, where I was probably going to go tomorrow, but I might actually come here because I can put my gear down here by this tree and put a bait underneath that boat there. So we just retrieving. See, on the drop's okay. When you stop retrieving, you're hitting. And you'll wind straight to your feet. See if there's anything following it. You'll get a surprise. Pushing off the drag a little bit. Right. A little bit. But also have your drag with braid. There's no give in braid, so you got the drag set just right. Too tight and the fish will just snap you off, you see. Now we're fishing a single hook because I do like to use these metal lures. You can search close to the bottom a lot better, and I've changed the treble to a bigger single, sharp single. Why? Because you only got to look around in these rivers here. They've had lots of floods and stuff like that. This is probably 7 or 8 days after a flood, and you still see it's a lot of colour in it. Okay, so I'm using a lure which has got like a gold tinge to it and silver as well, and it vibrates a lot. That little bit of red on there, I'm going to pull that off. I think that's a complete waste of time. So yeah, we go to the single because of logs and snags and trebles. You just lose too much gear, and with 8-pound braid, you've got no strength to try and even attempt to retrieve it, you see. So I'm just trying to maximise the chances. You do reduce your hookups a little bit, maybe, but I find in the past a single, especially for salmon fishing or something like that, you'll find a lot of professional salmon fishermen just use one single hook. So there shouldn't be no problem a perch getting hooked up or a pike getting hooked up in the scissors there. So that is why. And this is a quick change clip. You see that? Look, I can just change that as quick as. We've got 24-pound wire on here. Why? Because I'm probably more likely to run into a pike here than I am a perch. But saying that, there is some big perch here, but we'll just see how we get on with it, really. Good place to dead bait is underneath this boat here. Lots of little fish will hang around under a boat like that, so you might find there'll be some pike not too far away, but we shall see. We shall see. Get a little bit early, but I'm here because I was going to come and do some dead bait. It's a little bit bright for me, but because the river is still quite coloured from all the floods we've been having, it's, you know, yeah, I've had pike in bright sunshine, do you know what I'm saying? But it wants, even with clear water, it's more to do whether they're just there or not. You know, there's a lot of luck involved, but it's you've got time on your hands, you've got plenty of time, then you can do what you want, pick and choose. But this is a Sunday, wouldn't be my preferred day, but some people ain't got a lot of choice. Probably can't even use any of this footage because it's bloody, that sun's just, I've got some weed on this, I think. It's got a nice goldy sort of spray on this lure, look at that. Look at that. Single hook. Alright, so I should be able to see it. I've got some other bits and pieces there, but with these metals you can actually get it tight to the bottom. You can sort of you can get the lure, you can get it to hit the bottom, you can retrieve it, and then you can wait for it to hit the bottom again. I mean, perch pike, you'll take it on the drop, the retrieve, but as long as you're sort of combing the bottom. But we are picking up a little bit of weed on that hook, but that'd be worse if I was fishing a treble. It would indeed. What we got? Is there any weed on it? A little trace. Not too bad. And we could reduce the hook down a little bit, but what we got there? It should be right. Should be all right on the night. Oh, what we got? A little bit of a tangle. That's it. It's untangled itself, or has it? Just a little bit. Tighten that up a bit. I'm actually the rod housing. Nice and quiet Honda there. It looks like a 4-stroke as well. I wouldn't have thought it'd be as noisy as that. Must be an old one. Can't see any rods. He's probably bloody poaching or something. It's certainly not that deep here. I thought it'd be deeper here. I think it's deeper, just tight into my feet. So we've had some really, really cold weather last week. The river's going to still be cold, but I'm hoping the fish are going to move out off the dikes and come back into the river before the season closes on March the 18th. So, and the reason why I haven't moved the spot is because there's just too many fucking people bloody walking the bloody dogs. And at least here I can get out of the way if they come past, you see. I thought that was a bite then. I thought that was a bit of a perch take then. You just never know, it's probably a bit of weed or something. You never know with this sort of fishing. Sometimes a boat going past can actually stir up the fish and make them come on the feed a bit. What was it? Oh, it might have been a bite, you know, there's no weed on it. Yeah, it's the only problem with this spot, it's just too many bloody people. Especially on a Sunday. You know, they're coming at our 8 knots, let's just wind this in here. It's nearly time to have my can of Coke, I think. Getting a bit of a dry mouth. A bit of a dry mouth, mate. A bit of a dry mouth. Yeah, you can just tighten it up like that, a single hook. So with this spot, there's nobody on that boat, so I'm just gonna. Am I still rolling? Yep. Fuck, where are they all coming from? That get on your tits. Some people come past. That's like it's afternoon, isn't it? It's afternoon. Christ, I'm used to having this place to myself. There's fucking people everywhere. It's like, I've got nothing against people, but it's just when you come fishing, you just want peace and quiet, and you don't want any interference so you can get into a rhythm. But when you with this COVID thing, and you've got to keep your distance from people, you've got dogs and kids, and they want to chuck something in the fucking river. That get on your nerves. I'll be brutally honest, this sort of place is best midweek when it's about -1. Do you know what I'm saying? We had a good bit of privacy here in November when we had the second lockdown, and it was cold. It just turned cold, and people weren't going for the walks anymore, and it was just like a ghost town. And I had 1 or 2 pike to double figures here on dead baits. But I know people have got to go for walks and stuff, but it don't look like I'm going to probably be able to enjoy it today. But at least we've been able to have do a bit of a rod review with this thing here. I could put on a different lure, but I've got a lot of confidence in these sort of lures. They vibrate a lot, you see, when they wiggle, shiny. and they can reach the bottom, as where the plugs, you sort of skate about on the surface a bit with them. I like to get down deep, you see, and also mid-retrieve you just drop it down to the bottom again. So I'm doing a very slow retrieve will just keep it off the bottom, performing. I notice the rod tip's not buffering how I would like it to. It's a little bit, what should I say about the rod tip with this lure? This lure's probably, the rod's probably right at its limits, I would say. It's right at its limits. So let's just lob it out a little bit. Christ. So we've gone right over the bank there. Now, I've been spin fishing for a lot of years and I've lost a lot of gear by getting carried away in casting and trying to get in a precise spot. Now, I'll be brutally honest, you're better, I think, to try and get in some sort of a rhythm and be totally conscious about not losing your lure, because you waste time and it can frustrate you, and having to retie on, and it all costs money, especially usually you're fishing as well. Me, I'm usually fishing with my best lures. Whenever I'm doing this, I'm using lures which I really do think, and they're not the sort of lures you want to lose. You have to reorder and stuff like that. So what I try and do, I mean, you sometimes find a lot of the fish are either right at your own feet or they're just in the middle, or, you know, every once in a while I will push the limits a bit, and you've just got to watch your lure, you've got to watch the bank, and you've got to watch whatever trees are there. You've got to watch your lure, and if the alarm bells ring and you think that's about to go in the bloody bush or whatever, just grab the spool and just abort the cast, grab the spool, and the lure should ping back and just land somewhere away. But usually you lose gear, you know, you do a bad cast into a tree or put your dead bait in a tree or whatever, usually something's wound you up. Something's happened, something's sort of gone on, and whether you've lost a pike or whether someone was distracted you or another angler was blurting out, put his radio on or something. Do you know what I'm saying? There's usually, so if you can just sort of just try not get, it's about try not to get too carried away. I mean, fishing it's about doing the basics well. But yeah, I mean, this is a rod review. I mean, what do I think about this rod? I think it's good value. I think it's a good spare for any sort of lure fishing you want to do. I think, you know, I've not had a fish on it, but you know, it looks like it's got a nice tippy tip, very, very, very light tip, and it's got quite a stiff sort of backbone to it. So you'd be able to handle a fish, no sweat at all. It's nice and light. You know, it's just an extension of your arm basically, and there you go. This is 8-pound braid. I cannot emphasise the importance of using light braids, light lines for these sort of outfits. But we're just working the lure in the same area because I'm just sort of getting, there's a lot of people about. And they're dead baiting where I would usually dead bait. That's a Sunday. That's why you always got to be quick. Now they've gone the other side. So yeah, it's just. Picked up a bit of shit there, just not what we want. We picked up a bit of shit. So the old saying goes, if you ain't had anything, it's to sort of have a bit of a move. But yeah, I think we're going to have a bit of a move. God, I might just get on my nerves. I have to get my nerves today with people. Where can I go? It's just too many people, mate. go towards the bridge of doom.